All right, turn off that. So I'm just quitting out of. Wait, why is that still showing? Ah, there we go. All right, so quitting out and re-entering. So now we have maneuver on our bow shot, which is interesting, but I don't think it's. I think it's very counterintuitive the way that it's going to work. Uh-oh. Ooh. One of the save files cannot be loaded for unknown reasons. It has been moved to that location. Fortunately, an automatic backup. Okay, so we corrupted a save, so we won't be finishing off that save. Oh, what is guys? Lots of bad things are happening right now. I think that changed to, oh, I put the M here, but I didn't add the maneuver tag. That might be the issue. Wait, hold on. We want to keep caster effects, but we don't want skill effect, and we want maneuver. Okay. I would understand negative maneuver on crossbows pushback. That's what was originally recommended. Unfortunately, I'm going to re-import all of these just in case I messed something up quite horrifically. Import magic weapons, buildings, perks. Save all, save, do that. Not going to lose sleep over us losing that save. Didn't look like we were going to be continuing onward anyways, but let's fire it back up and see if that maneuver. The issue though is that the knockback isn't going to be relative to the player location. It's going to be relative to the bow location. So how interesting. So whatever we've done has now made it so that we can't actually start a game. Like I can click here, but I can't click on a challenge level. Am I using the M correctly? It certainly looks like I am. This does do this with them. I think this does not compute, but I'm surprised it's not working correctly. Let's expertly borked the game, indeed. Let's see. So I'm gonna reset it to this. Also, I was modifying power shot, which was not the one that I wanted to. So we got rid of the maneuver tag. We got rid of that. All right, let's see if we did that. Otherwise, we may need to do some more serious reverting of things. Oh, I didn't actually save the changes. Hold on. Please hold. There's a double skill effect. Hold on. Did I? Oh, there is. Yep. That could be what was causing it. Let's be brave and let's imagine that maybe that was what was causing it. I will say to all the naysayers out there, the fact that we've made it this far and this is the first time that I borked things is kind of impressive. Yeah, no worries, Ganthor. It's tiny text. Tiny text is tiny. I wish I had I wish everyone was on a 40-inch monitor watching. That's all I will say on that front. Uh-oh. I just... Okay. Oh, thank you, Kovacs. I try. Let's see. Any chance? Uh-oh. Still no. All right, well, I think now that we've blown things up completely, we need to validate that we haven't corrupted anything. So I'm just going to revert back to the unmodified version. Let's make sure that we can actually get a game started. We'll probably go with this for another 40-ish minutes. Hopefully we'll get things back to normal, and then... All right, yeah, so something we have changed has indeed caused the issue, which is interesting. All right, so what I'm going to do, given the situation, I'm going to close out our asset bundle extractor. Change the attack type to melee. I mean, I don't want it to be melee. Did I change it to melee? Yeah, I'm just going to do that. I'm going to do this like so. Okay, so this, from my perspective, this is where things started to go wonky. So we're going to grab that, and then I'm going to reopen the bundle extractor. If I still have that available, there it is. We're going to open the asset file. We're going to refind our goodies. It'll only take a minute here. That is extremely accurate. It's one of those things where it's like, I mean, today I probably should have just put the code in the main window like you suggested on the first one. My goal here was to have these streams be kind of like half playing and testing and then half the other. But this one has turned out to be all code, I think, because we have a lot of really good ideas. Let's see, and then perks. All right, so now we have all of them. So now I'm going to expand them all out. We'll re-import our files, and we'll see if we can at least get back into the game. Okay, import melee. Import ranged. Import magic. Import buildings. Import perks. Save the asset mod file. Delete that. Copy that here. All right, big money, no whammies. Here we go. Let's see this work. Wonky is the technical term. Fits pleasure for sure. No, that did not actually resolve the issue, which is interesting. So all of a sudden, what would cause us not to be able to interact with any of those buttons? Try uploading. I did just try the original files and everything worked fine. Oh, wait, hold on. This might be the issue. My origin was outside of my area of effect. That's a pretty major mistake. Yeah, so I uploaded the base file and it worked just fine and we were able to start it up. So I bet it was what I just found there, though. The origin being outside is a very weird thing. It's surprising that it causes you not to be able to go in, but... what can I say? The way that these things work is weird. Yeah, we'll look at it in a second, Garen. I want to get back to a baseline where we can actually enter the game. Call me crazy. Hey. Abigail, it's all available on the YouTube. I know it's not quite the same, but you can if you find the live stream there, you can scrub through the entirety of it. If you are so inclined. But yeah, that was an error, but not the error. So let's see. I'm gonna ditch some of these. Not that comments should make a difference. Unless I messed up my comments somewhere. But what other changes did we make? I haven't made any. The only change I made here was the total damage change. Which I don't think that's been present for a while. Over here for the maneuver slash, no changes there. Yeah, that may be because I'm not affiliate. That's the only thing I could think of, Abigail. But that is odd. Let's see. Then we added can rotate here. We don't need that anymore. But at the moment, there aren't that many changes that would have... I wonder if there's just something I need to do with my save game to... No, because it works just fine if we use the regular shared asset. It was working until we modified Power Shot. And right now, Power Shot is relatively unmodded. Like we can completely revert it. Except for the caster effect we know was working. So we'll leave those two for the time being, but let's do that and we'll import our ranged file. This is very peculiar. This is what you get for modifying games that are not mod friendly. Okay, so at this point, the only thing I really did was delete some comments, which if comments are causing the issues, we have bigger fish to fry. Uh-oh. Okay, let's validate this once more. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy in the normal asset file. Because now it could be changes that we made earlier and like something that we've done is preventing the game from starting. But that would be very weird. Some open omen slots. All right, we can do something else. But the fact that it was working before seems strange that would work that way. Let's validate that we can get a game started though. And then I'll try swapping in my asset file just to see if that's the case. All right, let's exit. And then we'll see if it immediately corrupts this save file. That would be the next big indication. Oh, don't do that. That was not what I intended to do. Yep, that's what I'm doing, Garen. But even if that works, yes, absolutely, Abigail. Let me grab it. There you go. Yep. So yeah, you got that there for you. All right. It looks like this is gonna once again corrupt the save file. Interesting. Huh. So we must have an error in one of our files that is more significant. All right. So let's see. A lot of these changes I know to be innocuous. This change here, we'll comment this out for the moment since we haven't figured out a way to make it sing. We know that that change was in there. Move points was in there. Yep, those are all fine. That mana cost reduction is okay. Explosive arrows change was fine. Do I have... Let me see if I can grab an extension for doing XML validation. Let's see. What do you offer here? Let's see. VS Code extension provides support for creating and editing XML documents. Blah, blah, blah. Automatic tag renaming. Auto closing tags. Schema caching. All right, we'll try this out. We will accept red hats, whatever. Oh, and now they all show up as red tabs. What does that mean? What are you trying to tell me, XML thing? All right, so right off the bat, so cannot find declaration of element skill definitions. Got it. No, but the XML language support for VS Code was created by the Red Hat Foundation, interestingly enough. Schema failed to read schema file, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so I have to find that. Yeah, okay, so it's actually going to be really useful if I find the XSD files inside of the program, inside of the last spell program. But in the absence of that, it doesn't look like we're going to get too much support other than one big error up at the top. So let's see. I wonder what I possibly could have broken. Let's see. So I'm going to go through these one by one and just see if everything that's opened gets closed. Area effect is matched. Skill action is matched. Damage multiplier is matched. Propagation has a close on it. Cast effects. This has been this way forever. We really haven't been doing much work outside of... We did make some changes here. I made this rotatable, which I don't think is the issue. Skill effects matches, multi-hits matches. This impale change remains one of my favorites. All right. So let's see. So we got the skill definitions. Unfortunately, that's not going to be. The armor piercing there is fine. And skill effects matches. So that's not the issue. Skill effects matches here too. These are old changes that we didn't really touch today. Area effect matches, damage multiplier matches. What did I remove here? Oh, I removed the stun. That was a while ago, though. Part of me is wondering if, like, just somewhere random, I, like, tossed a random, like, keystroke or something. Yeah, the problem, though, is that the rotate in Lustrous is on the origin of where you're targeting. So the way that it would rotate isn't mirroring along the horizontal, which is what I would want it to be. So the biggest change that we might want to revert temporarily is the change that we made to the perks. They could be the problem makers, or the troublemakers, as it were. Because this was a more sweeping change that I don't have. So what we'll do is let's keep our version just to remind us. But I do want to see if maybe, because I don't think we've restarted our game or tried to start a game since we made this change. So let's do this. I'd be impressed if this was the issue. I think this would be a weird one to be the issue, but unfortunately, once things go off the rail. All right, so now the only changes are 3 comment lines there. All right, so let's import everything here. Import melee, import ranged, import magic weapons, import buildings, which we haven't modified today, and then import perks. Save those like that. Copy those there, and let's fire it up. Oh, and if this doesn't work, we will have used most of our time, and we'll be switching over to the second piece of programming for our day. But oh, now we got a white screen of death. That's not looking too promising. Pour the last spell. I've murdered it. Oh, yes, I have. I forgot to rename the file. All right. It was hanging because there was no... There we go. Yeah, it was because I didn't rename the asset file that I dropped in. Okay, so with the perks changed? No? Still same deal. All right. Well, okay, let's go incremental here. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I killed the last spell unkindly. But I'm going to close down the asset extractor. And we're going to bring it back up again, hopefully, if I can find it. There it is. So we're gonna load the clean file, the clean asset file, and then we're gonna go through one by one and just add the specific things one at a time until we figure out which one is killing things. So to that end, we will start with skill definitions melee. Okay, so this is only our melee changes that I am importing right now. So the idea and the hope is that it should definitely work after we do this. Famous last words. Never surrender, never give up. Although I am looking forward to Wantless, I will say. Okay, so only melee changes. It works just fine. Good deal. All right. Next up is range changes. Now these, let's do magic changes next first, because I think magic is definitely clean, and I want to save range for last, since I think that's the one that we botched. There we go. Okay. Again, we launch. Still good. All right. This is good. We're narrowing it down. I'm going to do ranged next, because I suspect this one will break it. Oh, wait, what is this? Hold on a second. We got something weird going on here. Oh. What is going on here? Hold on a second. There's something weird. Obviously. The skill items definition for for ranged items is currently appears empty, which is very strange. So I want to export the data and just look at it before we go any further. So let's see. So I just exported that to my desktop. Okay, it does have stuff in it. It just wasn't showing up in the UI. That's a bug with the UI. But I will import this. Yeah, I will import our ranged file, which is located here. Then we will save and apply all, save, overwrite, delete, copy. All right, and if all goes according to plan, and we hope that it does, this will break our game. So, still fires up appropriately. There we go. Continue campaign, and please don't let me click. I can still click. Okay. So the change was not our ranged weapons changes, at least in their current form. So that means, what do we want to test next? I guess buildings? I feel like I had an issue with buildings in the past before. Let's look at... Which one are we in right now? We're in sort of, we got sort of Damocles. This should be buildings. Yeah, nuclear barricade. Kaikaku. I'm not sure. Let's see. So we did change this to a generic, which I think is fine. Base damage is good. Stun is good. Base space. All right, let's reintroduce building changes and see if that breaks it. View data, import data from file. We got the buildings file. Skill definition buildings. Okay, that is correct. Kikaku equals plan. Oh, interesting. What what language is that? Okay, we'll get that going. We'll do that. And now our hope is that once again it works just fine. Famous last words. But yeah, my homework for this coming week is going to be finding the XSD files in the game files, which I'm interested in. I think that'll be cool. Okay. Building changes work too, which means that now we are down to just perk changes. And if this doesn't break anything, it's going to be bad news bears. But this, I think I know what the problem was. I think I figured it out. So I think when I was importing the asset bundle for perks, I was importing it into the wrong place. I was importing into the skill definition, not the perk definitions, which exists here. I think I closed it and I reopened it, and that's probably when I messed it up. And as should be not a surprise to no one, if you write the wrong XML file to the wrong place, you're going to have a bad time. All right, big money, no whammies. Big money, no whammies. Hey, nice. Okay. All right, so with all that fixed, the last thing we're going to try and do here is go back and re-add the maneuver to the short bow. Let's see, we can bring back this because this wasn't causing any problems. Same with this. We back. We in it. All right, so let's see. So now let's go back to... I'm going to make the change on precise shot here. So I'm just going to do that. I'm going to make the origin be 0, 1. And then all we're going to do is grab maneuver from up here. That one's momentum. This one is maneuver. Goes in skill effects. Boom. There we go. So that's precise shot. So now it's going to be a teleporting shot, maybe. So let's bring it in. Ranged weapons, import. There we go. And then the other thing we're going to need to do is obviously we no longer have a test game. So we'll need to power our way through the early campaign. Actually, we can use Elderlicht. Do you ever get the shoot and get pushed back thing working? How did it work with bonus range? That's the issue, Abigail. That's what we're working on right now. Now that we've gotten the now that we've fixed the issue that we were having. I think the issue is the way that the XML defines a maneuver is based on a coordinate that is relative to the relative to the base of the targeting, basically. I'll grab this and I'll grab that. I'm just gonna grab a bunch of materials and things to make things easier. That'll work. But yeah, we're just about to test that. I'm gonna go into Glintfine because we can build a shop immediately and test things out. Oh, looks like we also got ourselves a short bow right off the bat. So the short bow is now a maneuver. Oh, how weird. Look at that. Yeah, so it's going to teleport us to 1 tile away. Is it possible to change the vector for the maneuver to negative of the attack? I don't believe so. I think what we could do is we could make it like teleport the user like 7 tiles away from the attack point. But first I just want to test this out. So let's just get you out here. Let's get everybody a little bit out just so that we can, you know, as we're testing things. And then we may or may not end up using this, but yeah, that bug that killed our game was a bummer. I'll grab one of these. We need a longbow. We'll grab one of those, one of those. All right, and then let's make sure everybody has a second weapon of some ilk. Okay, that looks good. Probably possible to do with the follow tag. So the follow tag, right, you replace an enemy that you kill. I guess here, let's confirm that the maneuver tag works the way that we think it does, though. Yep. That's really funky looking. We might be able to make something like this work. Oh. Or trying to do that crash the game. Okay. Noted. Yep. All right. So maneuvers with ranged weapons don't seem to be the happiest. Nice. Womp womp. Yeah. Game is now unresponsive, trying to figure out how to do a ranged maneuver like this. I'm a little surprised, honestly. I'm a little surprised that blew things up so badly. That struck me as a pretty innocuous change. But let's go in and make sure that we've at least fixed it. So pistol hook is follow, not maneuver. That's been asked a couple of times. The follow works differently because follow, you just take the place of the enemy that you killed. Maneuver, you do damage in a location, you move to a different location. Yeah. Oh, let's find teleport. I think that's an interesting one. That's going to be in skill definitions miscellaneous, I believe. So we can take a look at that. Yeah, stunning entrance. Yeah, same thing. It's so let's see. So skill definitions. Do we have skill definitions miscellaneous? Doesn't have teleport. That's interesting. So item definitions, we have teleportation skill. What is this? Okay, so here's the definition of a warp crystal for those who are curious. So there is a specific type teleportation that has a mana cost associated with it, levels, etc., etc. Yeah, that doesn't... So apparently skill teleportation exists. I think that's really all we can take away from that. Unfortunately. All right, we got that there. Let's make sure. So if I come over here... I assume Vanish for Rogue Armor is going to be the same way, but we can check it out. So does this at least work? All right, we have undone the problem. We do have the charge popping up still here. Did I grab the armor? Body armors. Okay, so like Vanish. Skill Vanish. Here we go. I'll bring it up so you guys can see as well. Thief Armor just has Skill Vanish, and then presumably there is a Skill Definitions Armor that maybe I didn't get, or maybe it's Skill Definitions Other over here. Vanish. Yeah, here's Vanish. Pretty much the same thing. Yeah, so it is literally a maneuver. An area effect maneuver. Which is interesting. Because this leads me to believe that it should work the same as the attack that we did. There must be something missing from the blink shot concept that we went with. But unfortunately, given that we don't seem to be able to specify movement relative to our player, I don't know that it works for the things that we were trying to make it work for. Which is a bummer. Well, back to the drawing board, I guess. So, yeah. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about where we got to. Of course, we updated the spreadsheet. We took a look at some things. We did some testing. We figured out charge and uncharge, although we haven't figured out conditionals yet, which may or may not be possible. The way that we're going to make progress on that, though, is by figuring out how to extract the schemas for the XML so we can see what properties can get put on things. So that's, Tuki, that's literally what I've been talking about. The issue is I do not know where the schemas are stored. So neither, if we bring this up, I'll bring this up one more time here. The thing that I'm using to explore the assets is Asset Studio, which is this interface here. And if I load the last spell folder, I get a huge asset list, right? Contains all types of things. As far as I can tell, there's no XSDs listed here. The word schema doesn't show up in any of the exportable assets. So I'm gonna need to do a bit of a deeper dive to try and figure out where it's located. It would be a text asset, so we can like at least limit it to that. But largely, I've only found each of the schema files. If we bring one up here, apologies for that being the wrong size. So the namespace declaration has no namespace, schema location, and then just a XSD file. There's no path inside of it. I think you can see what I'm seeing here in the namespace. So we just need to find this file. It exists somewhere, but it's definitely somewhere in the game files. But I am not sure where it lives. Like, it's not hosted somewhere, so it's got to be somewhere in the game files, which makes sense. The game can be played offline. So, but yeah, XML doesn't show up in here. XSD doesn't show up in here. We have the resource assets. Which there are some things that are very interesting in here, for sure. But yeah, I'm gonna have to do some digging around to find it. I think it's somewhere. I know it's somewhere. The game is accessing it, so it's not. I mean, like here, I'll bring over the resources file. It seems like it's packaged up somewhere. I don't see anything that looks to me like raw XML or XSD files in here. We have resources. We have the Unity default resources and the Unity built-in extras. Yeah, it's definitely stuck somewhere. Got some DLLs. Those wouldn't contain it. Lots of DLLs here. Don't see any XSDs. I'll use Windows search just to confirm. Yeah, no XSD files. But anyways, that's okay. That takes us to where we need to get to, and I will take the burden of figuring this out before next stream. Yeah, so the files we're dealing with are compressed .asset files. That's what we are operating on, and that's what we are extracting using the Unity bundle extractor. It is possible. That's okay. This is another thing that's worth checking. So I've only been editing shared assets 0, which is just the assets for, this is just like the main assets file, and it has a bunch of unnamed assets. But let's really quickly, let's scroll through and at least see what the different types are. So we have type transform, type text assets. We got texture assets, then we got text assets. I would assume it would be a text asset. We got sprite renderers, sprites, lots of sprites. We have mono behaviors, audio clips, canvases, animations. Yeah, so it's got to be a text asset, which doesn't help us too terribly much because we kind of already knew that, and we can see all of them in Asset Studio, and none of them have looked particularly. Currently no outline. What are those? Okay, so let's take a look through this. So we got our asset, we got our affix definitions, but these are all. I find it strange that each one of these gets listed twice. Some part of me makes me think that one of those is the instance data where one of them is the schema, but oh, I need to filter. It's text asset, but it's already. Why is it? Oh, interesting. But yeah, we have a filter. Oh, XSD. Regex container, no. Yeah, we can exclude XSD, but that's not doing us any good. So yeah, so there's multiple shared asset files. We have the category panel, the tutorial text box, and we can look at some of what's available in them here. Mod item. Interesting. Shared assets 4 has fire damage stuff in it. That's at least interesting. Some of these may be provided by, I mean, there's magic circle stuff in there. Skill definition is the file that we've been editing. There are many skill definition files. But there's bosses, braziers, buildings, enemies, items of various types, miscellaneous, whatever. But none of them are a schema definition. One thing I can do, I won't do it now, but one thing I can do is I think I can dump everything. Yep, nuclear barricades are interesting, for sure. At some point, if we can figure out a way to re-enable them, I do want to take a look at them. But yeah, just looking here, I don't see anything off the cuff that looks like an XSD file. You know, and we could go through these like every single one, just seeing if any of them look correct. Like if any of them don't have a namespace, but they're all so specific. Anyways, we've reached the point where I was hoping to kind of like move on to greener pastures. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna leave this for the moment. We will be back next week, and I will have more info when we get there. The main thing is if you're interested in chipping in or helping or tinkering yourself, joining the Discord is the best place to talk about both the balance changes that we've made and the other things. So I'm going to go